Good morning. Welcome to another one-line meditation. There we are, ready to get started. Our teacher for this week is Mooji. Every morning I feel like saying, like a particularly good message from Mooji today. And every morning it's true. Somebody, good morning. Linda, good morning. Danae, good morning. Anthony, good morning. Awesome having you all here. Right, let's get into it. Mooji's words might just be the most beautiful description of doing inner work that I have ever come across. Just listen to all of this message. It's natural for any of us to look at our own worst qualities and want that to change. But when we judge or punish ourselves for it, we engage in an inner war. And while this might seem to create the behavior that we want, it also creates an inner civil war that could last forever. Stefan, good morning. Awesome seeing you. Hello. Mooji captures poetically what happens when instead of fighting ourselves, we encounter the parts of ourselves that scare us with love and acceptance. Annalie, good morning. Dylan, good morning. Anne-Marie, good morning. Anna-Marie, good morning. Hello. Awesome having all of you right here. Listen to these words from Mooji. He says, once you are present in the energy field of self-discovery, it's like you are a piece of ice in warm water. The warm water is the self, and the ice is the mind. The warm water is not fighting with the ice. The ice cannot resist the melting. It is a natural and fatal attraction. Tanya, very good morning. It's so cool to see you live with us. Thank you for being here. Can you imagine that picture of ice in warm water? And can you see how there's no fight? Can you sense, can your body feel how when ice is held in a little bowl of warm water, there just is no friction. There's no conflict. It simply is a melting that will happen. Listen to it again. The warm water is the self. The ice is the mind. The warm water is not fighting with the ice. The ice cannot resist the melting. It is a natural and fatal attraction. I've seen this happen in clients so many times that I've come to really trust this process. All of your worst parts will melt when they are held in the warm love of your being. And then you will learn to be your own biggest supporter, to be the one who is best equipped to catch yourself when you fall, even on your worst days. Colette, a very good morning. Hello. Next thought from Mooji says, be true to love. Do not betray her. Then, on the day that the forest of the mind bursts into flames, on the day that the forest of the mind bursts into flames, you will not run. You will remain silent and still, for this is when love bears her sweetest fruit, your untouched presence. Mooji is capturing the truth that no matter how well we do our inner work, we are likely to still sometimes experience our own darkness. But that is what the work is for. When the forest of the mind bursts into flames, you will not be afraid anymore. You won't need to run because you will have learned how to be present with you. And when you no longer abandon yourself, when you're able to do the holding, when all parts of you are crying out in pain, rage, fear, grief, that is when the melting happens. There is no need to force the worst parts of you into changing. You need to hold them in love and acceptance and realize that every time you do this, you are being your soul. Keep practicing being your soul, and you'll find yourself naturally acting from your soul. Keep acting from your soul, and your old behavior is changed. Today's meditation is called a sense of self, and it is a practice of inviting our inner children, and perhaps sometimes we could call them shadow parts, scared parts, inviting our inner children to come and sit with us. Help us understand. Let's listen to them and hold them in that warm water that makes them melt. If you're ready, you can close your eyes. Let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. We are inviting these inner children to come and sit with us today. In my mind, the picture always looks like a grade 1 teacher sitting on the carpet, inviting the kids to come and sit around her. The examples we'll use today are sadness, anger, fear. A part of you that sometimes feels sad. A part of you that sometimes feels angry. A part of you that sometimes feels scared. You are welcome to use different examples. As you continue your full body breathing, invite these inner children to breathe along with you. Open your mind to the possibility of seeing an image, getting a good look at these three inner children. What would the part of you that feels sad look like? What would the part of you that feels angry look like? What would the part of you that feels scared look like? Watch them as they breathe with you. Watch them rise and fall. If you don't get a clear image of these inner children, that is totally okay. We don't always see inner visualizations clearly, but just opening yourself to the possibility of seeing is helpful. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. We're inviting these three inner children to take these big breaths along with us. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, Feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to do that right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to remind you of these 3 inner children that we invited to sit with us. My examples today are sadness and anger and fear, and you may use your own examples if you want. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, once again, see if you can get a good look at these 3 inner children. Can you get an image? See what they look like. And let them know that we are here to listen. We really want to hear them. We really want to learn how to understand them. Take your next big breath. We turn our attention first to sadness, the part of us that perhaps sometimes feels sad, and we are inviting sadness to speak. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of moments when you feel sad. What are the thoughts that go through your mind when you feel sad? And notice specifically what might be on repeat. Our mind is full of recordings, and sadness tends to speak in a very similar way every time. Ask sadness to speak while you listen. Take your next big breath. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, again, turn towards sadness and ask sadness this question directly. Can you ask a question and also let it go? Can you ask a question and not try and search for an answer, but trust that the sad part of your nervous system has an answer ready? So as you turn towards sadness, use these words. Go, sadness, please tell me, when you feel so sad, what is it that you're afraid will happen? In those moments where you feel sad, what is it that you're afraid is going to happen? Take your next big breath. Thank sadness for showing up, for being seen, for being heard. It is a brave thing to do. We turn our attention now to anger. Part of you that sometimes feels really angry. And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask anger to speak. Remind yourself of how it feels and what are the thoughts you think when you feel angry. Specifically, pay attention to the thoughts that are on repeat. Again, we have many recordings in our mind. And when we're angry, it's very likely that the same thoughts go on repeat again. Remind yourself of how anger speaks within you. Take your next big breath. Then, as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, turn once again towards anger and ask anger this question directly. Say, anger, please tell me, in the moments when you feel so angry, you're trying to prevent something bad from happening. There is something that you're trying to put a stop to. What is it that you're trying to prevent from happening? What is the bad thing that you're trying to prevent? Take your next big breath. take a moment to thank anger. Thank anger for showing up, for being seen, for being heard. We know it takes courage to be seen and be heard. And then we'll turn our attention to fear, the part of you that sometimes feels scared. And we're asking fear to speak while we listen. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of how fear sometimes speaks in you. And again, pay attention to the recorded pattern. Our brain is full of recordings. And it's very likely that when we feel scared, it's the same thought or a similar thought on repeat again. So ask fear to speak while you listen. Take your next big breath. And then as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, turn towards fear again and ask the question directly. Say, fear, in those moments when you feel so scared, please tell me, what is your deep desire for me? What is it that you really want for us? Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank fear for showing up, for being seen, for being heard. It is a brave thing to do. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together. And we're asking these inner children to take these breaths with us. Have them be or sit wherever they want to be, or wherever it is that it feels right for you. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. When we have good conversations with our inner children, the first thing that happens is we get to learn that they have a motivation, they have a job to do. Even the worst parts of us are trying hard to help us cope, help us survive, help us find our way to safety. The more we have this kind of conversation with our inner children, the more we kind of have to see them in a softer light. They're doing their best to help us survive. The second thing that happens when we have these conversations with our inner children is realizing that I've stepped into a different part of me. If I'm listening to sadness, I'm not being sadness. If I'm listening to anger, I'm not being anger. If I'm listening to fear, I am not being fear. So who am I being? We could put many different labels on this part of us. It could just be your being. Your higher self, your soul, your wisdom. The more I listen to my inner children and have the conversation, the more I am practicing being my soul. The more I practice being my soul, the more I will act from my soul. There's just no need to be involved in a fight with these inner children. If my true growth and change lies in just acting from my soul more often. I'll read Mooji's words on the topic again. He says, once you are present in the energy field of self-discovery, it is like you are a piece of ice in warm water. The warm water is the self. The ice is the mind. The warm water is not fighting with the ice, and the ice cannot resist the melting. It is a natural and fatal attraction. There is just no need to force the worst parts of you, the shadow parts of you, to change in order to change your behavior. You need to hold them in love and acceptance, and realize that every time you do this, you are being your soul. Keep practicing being your soul, and you'll find yourself naturally acting from your soul. Keep acting from your soul, and your old behavior is changed. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to listen to what speaks within me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to continue listening, no matter how loud, how harsh, how angry, how sad that inner voice might be. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how all these inner children soften when they're being held in love. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to practice being my soul. How to step into that place that can do the listening, that can do the holding, until that place becomes my default. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. And thank you for not being at war with your inner children. Charlene, a very good morning. Hello, good to see you. Maggie, good morning. Awesome seeing you here. Hey, Prepare, good evening to you. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Sunmary. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Anami. Thank you, Annalie. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Have a beautiful day. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.